What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another night of Football Fury. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see, due to the bottom panel of your window, it is looking like a double-stacked night tonight. We got not only Tim, not only Fox, Dula with the comeback, and we haven't seen this guy since our 2017 NFL Draft way back in April, Mr. Brian from the Combine Show. Welcome, fellas. What's going on?
Oh,
yes,
no.
Feeling good. My co-host from the Combine.
Cheers.
Hey,
Fox.
listen. Don't let my appearance distract y'all from the fact that the last time the Cleveland Browns won a football game, Donald Trump wasn't the president yet.
Oh. Oh, man. Listen. Hey, can I give a shout out? I want to give a shout out first. Sean, we miss you, Sean. We miss you. We got the corporate frogmate all suited up, looking nice, playing this week. And you know
listen. I had an interview with Gettleman. Fly out tomorrow night to Detroit to see if I could ship out there. So we'll see. Maybe I'll land a coaching job over there.
Maybe. Hey, Randy, if you're watching, Randy, he's wearing purple again.
Right. This is not purple. And
No,
Street was where I dropped your colorblind.
No, that's a periwinkle. Let's be real.
All right.
It might be a mix. It might be a periwinkle.
It might be a lavender.
Shut up.
We'll settle with lavender. We'll move on to the first topic, Tim. What's our first topic tonight?
Oh, Cam Newton's helmet over the eye. Listen, Cam Newton got hit very hard. The NFL is saying it was something funny the way the medical staff handled Cam Newton. They figured, you know what? It looked like a concussion. He admitted that when he got hit to the floor on purpose to reserve some time. Jim, you have a problem with this?
Yo, that was crazy. I don't even know how he was allowed back on the field. And there was this greatest excuse in sports history, what he said over the eye. Yeah, over the eye is really going to make you fall to the ground on all fours and shake your head and squint. Yeah, if it was an eye issue, he would immediately went to his face for immediate, satisfaction to kind of get the irritation or whatever it was bullshit. And you know what pisses me off about this is the fact that Cam Newton's going to be the same mother lover to turn around when he's retired, good at the age of 50, and want to sue the NFL for the CTE. You didn't want to come out. What the f is wrong with you? That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I got a problem with this because the visor was still completely intact. What he's saying hit him in his eye. So it wasn't shattered. It didn't come off the front of the helmet. Completely intact. And that got you in the eye. One hell of a rubber band elastic visor. Could not come up with a better fucking lie. Period.
Look, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I saw that and I'm like, look, first of all, I don't know if anyone on the panel has had a concussion before, but I've had a few concussions from playing football. And you know that you have a concussion. It's very apparent when you get your clock rung. You know you have a concussion. So you figure they got this personnel on the sidelines, kind of diagnosing that. You would think that they'd do a better job of that. And if I'm Cam Newton, if I get my clock rung or whatever, come out the game. Who's your backup? Derek Anderson? You think he's gonna take your spot in the game? Sure, you're good. I don't know. That was just a whole mess, and you know what? It's not the first time it's happened this season. I don't know what's going on. Like, that was in this age of medical technology, CTE, brain awareness, I don't know why this is still happening. I truly don't.
Well, I'll go ahead and play devil's advocate for the Panthers, since everybody's on board, just for sake of argument. Here's what I'll say for the Panthers. You know what the Panthers did? The Panthers saw what happened to the Seahawks to when they allowed Russell Wilson to go back in the game after his apparent concussion. They were only fined $100,000. That's like finding $1 on the ground for one of us for an NFL team. That is nothing. You think the Panthers are really worried about that fine? You damn right you gonna put Cam Newton back in the game. Cam Newton almost won that game for them. I understand that player safety is important. I understand that players want to be safe. The NFL wants the players to be safe. But at the end of the day, you know what the players want to do? Players want to play, man. And Cam Newton understood that he gave his team the best chance to win that football game. At the end of the day, and look, I'm not saying that he should have gone back in the game. I'm not condoning it. I'm just kind of saying that, look, players want to play, and if in a playoff game where Cam Newton was brought them back and won that game, are the Panthers really going to say, put Derek Anderson in and let's see what he can do? Like, it was a playoff game. They were 1 or 2 passes away from winning that game. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I agree with everyone on the panel. I'm just playing a little devil's advocate for the Panthers to just kind of have people thinking of, well, the Seahawks only got fined $100,000 for doing that for Russell Wilson. We'll take that chance if Cam Newton get into a playoff game to move on to the next round. That's all I'm saying. It's horrible. It was bad. He should have went in, but I'm just playing devil's advocate for the Panthers in that situation.
But
that's a perfect argument too. That makes complete sense. But that's the problem too, B, that the organization is putting his ass at risk, and yet we're all talking about player safety, and the NFL is talking about how we want to make things better for the players. You do this.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Now, here's my thing, and I think Shem hit it the best, where he said, in a couple of years later, you're gonna want to sue the NFL. The problem is, these new athletes right now are going through this because of what the players who retire already excuse me, I won't say crying about. They want safety. Safety is afforded to you, but the problem is during the game when something's on the line, you want your cake and ice cream too. We all know it's competitive. Yes, we all we got people writing books out about concussions, about ending the NFL. The minute the help is offered to you, no, you know what? I don't want it now because I want to win this game. And then years later, I'll come back to this. You can't do that. If you're hurt, line, get it checked out. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You got it. You can't be in love with the moment and disregard the help. You can't do that. What Russell Wilson did, now Russell Wilson is a competitor. But you know what? When these guys are suing, you should come out and say, hey, you knew what you was getting yourself into when you put on them cleats and them pads.
Well, can I just ask? I want to just inquire about the medical condition. I don't know if anybody knows from experience or maybe talking with the doctor if they've suffered a concussion themselves. But what would have happened if Cam had a similar play just like that head collision, a similar play again right after that, or maybe a couple plays later? Is there significant more like double damage, potential to your brain just because you have a concussion and boom, you just made another huge impactful hit on your head? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of things. I mean, it's a wide spectrum. If you get your clock run, you have a concussion, and you go back in, and let's say you get your clock cleaned again, a lot of things could happen. The most extreme thing is death. That could happen. If you get hit hard enough. Yeah, that's a rare thing to happen. Yeah, I mean, a lot of bad things could happen, and that's kind of my point. And I agree with you, Brian. I like the counter argument. I get it.
Right.
Players want to play.
Right.
It's a playoff game. The team wants to win in advance, but let's look at it this way as well. Let's say they put him back in, and let's say he gets rung again. If they go on to win the game, what use is he now? If he gets rung again, do you think he's playing the following week? I call it the case of the Andrew. I call it the case of the Andrew Luck. If Indianapolis was a little more careful with Andrew Luck, he might have played this season. But instead, they downplayed it. They let him downplay it, and it cost them a whole season.
Well,
I mean, it's a line. It's a line you got to flirt with, and I don't know if $100,000 is really enough for me to hedge my bets.
It's a line. I agree with you. It is a line, but just to respond to your example with Andrew Luck, I'll say this: there's a big difference between playing with a head injury and playing with the shoulder. You can play with the head injury. You can play. I mean, it's just, but I'm just kind of trying to respond to your example. I understand what you mean. Yeah, the Colts, the line, they should have played him. They should have sat him down with the shoulder. I get that. But it's harder to play with. It's just it is what it is. It's harder to play with the shoulder than with a head injury. I know, as crazy as that sounds, but let me just make this remark. This is the only way the NFL is going to get these guys to sit down, or is to get these teams to take this concussion protocol seriously. Because let's face it, it's not working. Okay, the only way they're going to get this to become serious, or get teams to take this seriously, is if you start taking draft picks away, or you start finding heavy, or you start suspending people up top. That's the only way you're going to get through to these teams. $100,000 fine is going to do absolutely nothing for these teams. These are billion-dollar companies out there. You think $100,000 is going to do anything to the Carolina Panthers? Are you kidding me? The only way you're going to get these guys, because look, I'm pretty sure we're all former athletes, and Tim said you can't live in the moment. Man, football is the moment. It's a game. You want to go back out there and play for and fight for your boys, and go out there a quote unquote war with your boys. You got to go out there. You got to put your helmet back on and go out there. That's the mentality of any athlete, really. Football, basketball, baseball. You have to get back out there. You got to do whatever it takes to get back out there. Players are always going to want to play, but I
absolutely understand that warrior mentality, because I love Steve McNair. But yeah. I think the brain is 100 times different than any bone or ligament in your body.
And you're right. But your heart, it's gonna be hard to kind of get that message through to somebody while they're out there. And all I can say is this: what you have to do is really start coming down hard on these teams, harder. You're not gonna get Cam Newton. You're not gonna get Cam Newton to stay out the game. He's going back in there if he needs to.
All right, Brian. So basically, all right, the last word, but basically, for your last word, you're basically saying the NFL needs to come down harder.
They have to, yes.
All right, we're gonna move on.
All right.
New Orleans Saints beat the Carolina Panthers 31-26 at home. Very close game. What's the Panthers' next moves for the offseason? Saying Cam needs some wide receivers. You need some wide receivers. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on Funches. He's not a number one wide receiver in my opinion. McCaffrey, to me, is a slot wide receiver. He's their best weapon. Russell Shepard and them other guys, I'm sorry. Greg Olsen is getting older, so I feel you got to keep surrounding Cam Newton with some valuable weapons.
Yeah, with the Panthers, it's going to be interesting because you got Thomas Davis. He just completed his 13th effing season. Peppers is probably going to retire, and you got Star Lutulele, who's going to be a huge decision. They've already have a lot tied up with Quan Short, and you got a few guards you got to make a decision on, like Chris Scott and Amini Silatulu, because they got Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell, who they're going to probably tie up long-term this offseason, and they'll need to draft some DBs in early to mid-rounds. Because I was not a fan of James Bradbury, Darryl Worley, and Captain Munner was all right, but they didn't really impress me at all this year. Top priority for Carolina is receiver, and to get Cam a real number one option. Despite just having Curtis Samuel in the second last year, they have this guy Brenton Burson playing with the Panthers for the last 3 seasons. Does anybody know who Brenton Burson is? Does anybody know? That's all I got.
Yeah, I'll say the Panthers need weapons. I mean, it's pretty simple. They need some outside. They need outside threat. The only outside threats Cam's ever had was Steve Smith, and he was about 35, 36 years old when he had him, something like that. And that wasn't even enough. They need outside threat. They got rid of Calvin Benjamin. I have zero clue why. Not that Calvin Benjamin was some superstar receiver, but I sure as hell take him over Devin Funches. And it's great. Like Tim said, Greg Olsen's get up there in age. I love Christian McCaffrey, but he's not an every down back. I think they need to get a running back. Jonathan Stewart's getting up there in age. He's 29, 30 years old. He seems to be slowing down. If it's a deep running back class, I think they need to go after a running back in this just to give some rest to Cam Newton. Because when Cam Newton's your leading rusher, you take Cam Newton off the team, they're 31st in the league in rushing. So that just tells me that they need another threat, not only on the outside, but some more running threats. I think they need to go after a running back in the NFL draft.
I'm with Brian on this too. I think they need to address the running back position. Wide receiver is secondary in my opinion. You got a couple of big guys that are going to be in the draft that you could go after that could play the outside in the second, third, and fourth rounds. I think you need to address running back and probably go 2 or 3 your first 6 picks need to be at that position because you're right. McCaffrey, even though I had him highly ranked, he's not an every down back. Stewart is, he's on his last leg. Remember, this guy was playing when D'Angelo Williams was playing back in John Fox's days in Carolina. So, it's almost over for him. And Brian just echoed it. When Cam Newton is not running the ball, you have one of the worst running games in the league. So, yeah, you have to address the running back position first and then go after the wide receiver position, in my opinion.
Well, this is a team that just fired their offensive coordinator, so it'll be interesting to see, where they go there. It's funny, they traded Kelvin Benjamin because they wanted to get faster on the outside and feature Curtis Samuel and some of these other guys, and they did not get faster on the outside. It's the same old show. It's the same reason why they were bad last season. They weren't fast on the outside. So if I look at this team, I think they need to get a running back early. I think they need to, still need speed on the perimeter. I think they need depth on defense. I think they need another free safety. I'm not in love with their free safety right now, Colin Jones. But yeah, I think you get Julius Peppers. You're not sure Charles Johnson. I think they need depth at defensive end. They could probably go for some depth at defensive tackle. But yeah, first things first, I think they got to shore up that running back position. Jonathan Stewart's not going to get it done for you by himself.
Well, Kyle, since you are the draft guru, so is Brian, so is Fox. I want to add on. You said running backs. Wait, you said running backs. Now that you guys are on, is there any specific running back that they may want to draft in the first round or any player?
You said the magic word.
I got you.
I think Damian Harris from Alabama would fit well with them.
All right, how about you, Brian? Give me a draft pick. Give me a player for the Carolina Panthers in the first round.
I like Damian. I think Damian would fit well. I would, I would say they need a big bruiser, and one of the sleepers in the draft that is a big bruiser for me is a guy like Bo Scarborough from Alabama. I think he kind of reminds me of a Derrick Henry. I think he's helped Derrick. I think Derrick Henry's kind of helped Bo Scarborough's stock because they're kind of the same build. I think Bo Scarborough's a little more explosive. So I think a big bruising back, a change of pace back to help Christian McCaffrey is good for Alabama. Oh, I'm sorry, for the Carolina Panthers.
How about you, Fog?
Brian just stole my damn thunder. I like Bo Scarborough too. I really his size, the fact that he can actually be a receiving back as well as an every down guy between the tackles. I really like him. I also like not for nothing, Kerryon Johnson from Auburn. He's got the speed. He can hit the corners good. I really like this kid. So I think Kerryon Johnson or Bo Scarborough could be solid picks that they could get somewhere between the second and hell, Scarborough I think could fall as far as 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic. The Buffalo Bills lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars 10-3. Bob, I'm telling you right now, brother, we got your back. I got your back.
Speak for yourself.
Jacksonville beat the Buffalo Bills 10-3. It was a great game. Tyrod Taylor got hurt. Nathan Peterman came in.
It was a what?
The late interception to Jalen Ramsey. This Nathan Peterman, did he lose the game for the Bills?
I'm trying to still recover from the Kyle.
It was a great game. He said great game. You said a great game.
There's been a couple.
That was a shit show beyond.
I'm still trying to recover from the laws over here. Just give me a little bit. But yeah, while he didn't lose the game because he played a minute and a half of the damn game, I do want to bring some beautiful stats up to your attention real quick. If I do, this is Tyrod Taylor, 44 total games as a Bills quarterback. Let's just kind of simmer through this real quick. Interceptions. Let's take a look at his interceptions. Wow. Games with 0 intos. That's great. That's awesome. I mean, 70% of your games with 0 intos. That's got to count for something, right? As a quarterback, no turnovers. Let's get to his passing yards. This is a little alarming when you see this. He's had 23 games under 200 yards, which is more than half of his career games with Buffalo. So then we get to his passing touchdowns real quick. Games with 3 passing touchdowns. He's only had 6 in a passing league. Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. 2 passing touchdowns, maybe? Nope. Only 7 of those games. Then we get to one touchdown games. 43% of his games, he's had 1. And then let's get to the bigger fraction, or the next biggest fraction, I should say, is 0, with more than a quarter of his games. This is because 31 games with 1 or 0 passing touchdowns. 70% of his games. You got to move on, Buffalo. You got to move on. It's time. Not Nathan Peterman's fault. It's the whole Bills offense.
I'm going to let y'all go ahead because I got a rant. It's going to be after 2.
I don't really have much to say about I've said my piece on Tyrod Taylor on the page, for a while now. I've seen this guy play at Virginia Tech all 4 years while he was there, and he is who he is. He's not a starter. He's a starting quarterback in the league, sure, but he's not a franchise guy. He never has been. He never will be. He's not a guy who's going to complete a lot of passes for you down the field. He missed high on so many passes in that game. He missed. So many. If you wanted to pin the loss on him, you probably could, because he missed on so many deep balls that where his guy had a guy beat, and then he just missed. And he's, like I said, he's a bridge, at best a bridge quarterback. He's an average quarterback. I'm not going to put the blame on him because I didn't expect much of him to begin with. So I don't think I could put any blame on him to begin with. I think he's just a product of I think he's a part of a bad offense. He's a part of that, so. And with LaShawn McCoy pretty much playing on one leg, I said on the page from the jump, I think I was one of the first people, during the red zone thread to say, you tell me how Buffalo's going to score points in this game. Like how? Where is it going to come from? Where? And obviously they didn't score. They only scored a field goal, so obviously no one answered my question. They couldn't either. So, the Buffalo Bills, it's not that they didn't move on from Tyrod Taylor. There was nothing there anyway. So that's all I have to say.
I've defended Tyrod Taylor. I've been rooting for him to succeed, and he just doesn't. He's a guy that you have to build an entire team around him, and he's got to have key players at all the skill set positions, and you have to have a solid defense. Can he win a game for you? Absolutely. Is he an average quarterback in the league? No, he's actually a below average quarterback when you go across the board statistically. He's, he ranks anywhere between 17 and 22 as far as overall statistics are concerned. So that's alarming. And again, I've watched enough games now of him because I want to try to defend his ass, and I can't defend him because of some of the things that Brian just mentioned. He overthrows his targets considerably. The guy's got a strong arm. He can go downfield with the ball, but he misses targets downfield. It's ridiculous. My other problem with him, and it's a problem that I've got with a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college, they don't know how to throw their receivers open. And he does not do that. And if you can't throw your wide receiver open, can't lead him to an open spot or an opening in the field, you are not going to be a good caliber quarterback for the NFL. That's just the bottom line.
All right, Della.
It's my turn, right?
It sure
Bills
is.
Mafia, right? Bills Mafia, right? You know what's funny? I'll say this: I'm a fan of the Detroit Lions, and I'm very proud of that. Even, and we've sucked for generations. It's been bad in Detroit, football-wise, horrible. And I remember not a couple years ago, you know, we got in the playoffs after I don't know how many years. But let's rewind back to last year. Detroit went 9-7. They backed into the playoffs, right? Because they needed Washington to lose, and they did because of the Redskins. They're good for that. And we got in the playoffs. We backed into the playoffs, and guess what? We got smacked by Seattle because we backed into the playoffs. Buffalo, you backed into the playoffs. You needed someone else to lose in order for you to get in. Had Baltimore won, had Andy Dalton not decided to be a hero for the only time this season, you wouldn't be in the playoffs. It'd be another, 9-7 season, 8-8 season. This is what you do, right? To answer the question, did Nathan Peterman lose? No. The whole offense is bad. The offense is predicated on a power running game. Yet, there's no depth at running back. It's LaShawn McCoy and Mike Tolbert. He's our fullback. Their running game is, I don't know. And then, you know, Tyrod Taylor can throw down the field. But look at his receivers. They're slow. You have Calvin Benson on the outside. Slow. It's just, it just screamed. I looked at this game and said, you know what? Buffalo still has a chance. Because it's Jacksonville and Blake Bortles going to Blake Bortles. And guess what he did? Blake Bortles had more rushing yards than passing yards. Crazy, I know. Amazing. But and Josh said it, you know, and I don't want to go too much longer, but you know, Bills Mafia, I need you guys to be objective. Stop being emotional about the shit. You got to the postseason, wonderful. It's been a long time, wonderful. That was a winnable game. And you know what? It serves them right. They should probably have more faith in their quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. Is he average? Yes, at best he's average. But you know what? That's been the best quarterback in Buffalo since Drew Bledsoe. That says a lot. I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let's go on. One comment apiece. What's next for the Buffalo Bills in the offseason? I'm going to start off by saying...
Throw the whole damn team away. Throw them all away.
Well, I'm going to say this. There's been a lot of rumors going on that they're moving on from Tyrod Taylor. They're going to they may be possibly moving on from LaShawn McCoy because of the contracts. They're loaded with draft picks. So I think Buffalo will be good. Years, depending on how they do their draft picks and their offseason. But I will say this about Tyrod Taylor. Fan, and you had McNabb, and we all know McNabb didn't have really much to work with. Just imagine Tyrod Taylor. His only weapon was LaShawn McCoy. His receiving corps was not that good. Bad play calling from what happened with the Jacksonville Jaguars game at the 5-yard line. Passed the ball, I believe, 2 to 3 times running, and they lost yardage because of that. They could have tried to get at least. It could have been 7. It could have changed the whole dynamic of the game, which it didn't. But Tyrod Taylor makes that offense moves with LaShawn McCoy, and he doesn't have much to work with. So if they do keep him, you got to give him something to work with. But I think Tyrod Taylor will get released or traded. He won't be a Bills, and I feel the same way for LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumblings on the I visited the Buffalo message boards, and there was a lot of rumblings about them wanting the Dennison out as the offensive coordinator, but I don't see it happening. I don't think it does. There may be a slight chance McDermott with his ties to Shula now that he has an opening. maybe tries to bring him in, but who knows? Kyle Williams, he's 34. He's going to be a free agent. You could save $7 million with him, but Jerry Hughes is your only other guy on that line. I wasn't a real big fan of Cedric Thornton or Eddie Arbo. The linebackers to me were kind of average to above average. I mean, Lorenzo Alexander was pretty decent. Preston Brown, though, Matt Milano, not really like household names for a team, but Buffalo's king caboodle this offseason is going to be the 3 of their 6 corners. They're going to be free agents. So they're going to have to make decisions on EJ Gaines, Leonard Johnson, and Sharice Wright. You probably let Wright go. He's kind of a burn toast piece kind of guy. So focus on EJ Gaines if you can, if he's not going to be asking for a huge payday, because he did have quite a good season. But it's really time to move on from Tyrod, in my opinion. And I don't even know if Nathan Peterman is a deal. So here's my big vote here. I'm going to say Buffalo moves up in this 2018 draft to get a franchise quarterback.
Well, I was going to go there. I was going to go there. I don't think Buffalo's that bad of a team. I wouldn't throw the whole team away like Dula's suggesting. I don't think they're a horrible team. Defensively, they're okay. Right. That's what got them to the playoffs. And they are pretty average to below average offensively. I think LaShawn McCoy is going to be gone too. If he even wants to come back, I think he's going to be gone. I think they need to free up some space there. But I do think that they need to look at the quarterback position, because it's the position really they've really kind of struggled to really fill the last decade. I mean, you got Drew Bledsoe, like Dula said, Drew Bledsoe was the last guy there to really have any type of success in Buffalo. And I'm just gonna throw a name out there, and you guys know how high I am on this guy. I think drafting a guy like Lamar Jackson, to go to Buffalo is what will happen is it's going to give Buffalo some sense of identity, which they never had, and that does a lot for. It's a very undervalued commodity. It's a sense of identity for a franchise, a guy you can actually build, a guy to kind of electrify and energize the team. This team doesn't have a lot of energy around the organization. I mean, it's kind of a dull franchise. You almost forget about it up there, up in New York. You almost forget about the franchise. And a guy like Lamar Jackson can come in and kind of re-energize the entire team. And of course, they're gonna have to build around him. They have to build around it, and they have the defense to do that. They have the defense in place. I like what they have. A nice young core. If they can get some guys signed back, they have a nice young core. You got a guy like Lamar Jackson in there to do some things and re-energize that offense. I know it's a cold weather place. I know people are worried about that, but I think it's a situation where you get a guy like him into your organization. You re-energize it. You put him back on the map. You get people excited, and then you get players excited to come there too. Because it's not an exciting place to play right now. Buffalo's like one of the worst places to play football. It's almost worse than Cleveland. Even though they went to the playoffs, it's bad. I think a guy like Lamar Jackson can change that, kind of give them that sense of identity for that franchise.
All right.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to say throw the whole team away. They're kind of in no man's land right now, especially on offense. What they have right now isn't going to work in the long haul. We know this. However, they got 2 first-rounders, right? They could do some damage with that. The problem is, if they want a franchise quarterback, they're going to have to go up pretty high. There are about 20 teams ahead of them who could use a quarterback in some capacity. Meaning guys are gonna go higher than what you think. So, one option is they package their 2 picks together and trade up. If they trade up, Josh Allen is a possibility. Baker Mayfield's a possibility. I am not high on Josh Allen. A lot of people are because he's big and has an arm. So is Jay Cutler. But, it is what it is. But I think if they sit pretty at where they are, I'll entertain that. Let's say they do go get Lamar Jackson with that pick in the 20. They get Kansas City's pick. They get Kansas City's pick as well. I mean, if you get Lamar Jackson and you're gonna hitch your wagon around him, you got to get him a weapon. And I think in this case, you got to give him a running back. If they're gonna let Shady walk, I would say that second pick needs to be a running back, or they could go defensive tackle. Kyle Williams is a little long in the tooth. You kind of need a cornerstone on that defensive line. So, they need a quarterback with one of those picks, and I would then either go running back or defensive tackle.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't. In my opinion, you don't have a franchise quarterback in this draft. There's nobody that comes out and goes, "Oh, I have to have this guy right now," and they're going to change the dynamic of the franchise. If you draft Lamar Jackson, which I have no problem with, I think he's got the most upside in this draft of quarterbacks from a talent perspective. You got to have someone in front of him. So you can't get rid of Tyrod Taylor. Who are you going to put in front of him? Because he's going to have to develop and grow. You bring Lamar Jackson in, and like Dilla said, you've got running back issues to address. You're losing Kyle Williams. You're probably going to lose Sharice Wright, the cornerback, as well. So you're going to need some depth there. You're going to need depth at defensive tackle. Your wide receiver position is complete trash right now. And if you're letting Shady walk, you need skill position players. In my personal opinion, if I'm the Bills, I'm addressing receiver, I'm addressing cornerback, I'm addressing D tackle, I'm addressing running back. You've got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Screw it. I'll wait till next year and see what quarterbacks could possibly come out next year. If anything, and start building the team.
Or I maybe want to overpay for Kirk Cousins. I maybe want to give Alex Smith some money for a short-term deal. I maybe want to give A.J. McCarron some money on a short-term deal.
Well, I mean, this is the counter argument. You go out and get those guys, Kirk Cousins, Alex Smith, good Lord, A.J. McCarron. You go out and get those guys. I mean, okay, what is that supposed to do for the Bills? Is that supposed to make them better? Is it supposed to make them go a step back? Or are they going to be tank? I don't think Kirk Cousins, as much as I like him, I don't think he's going to be a guy to be a franchise-saving guy. Like I don't look at him that way. I don't look at Alex Smith that way. Now, if you want him to be a bridge guy while you kind of groom a young quarterback in, that's fine, I guess. But I mean, why were those guys signed?
Oh, no, I absolutely agree with you. Well, let me say it back. If you're overpaying Kirk Cousins on a long-term deal, you're saying that's your guy. I'm not saying give Alex Smith a long-term deal or give or
A.J. McCarron a long-term deal.
Or you know what? Another name might be Teddy Bridgewater.
Yep.
We don't know what Minnesota's going to do. It might be Sam Bradford. We don't know who they got 3 guys. They can't keep all 3 at this point. I'm not saying give those guys long-term deals. I'm just saying he can't throw Lamar Jackson out there right now. Yep. I know we talk about Deshaun Watson, but I don't think Lamar Jackson's there yet.
I thought you were saying give those guys long. I mean, I'm not sure why those guys were signed long-term with the Bills, but that's what I thought you were ensuing. But now
I would give long-term is Kirk Cousins at this point. That's the only guy you can conceivably give a long-term deal to.
Yeah,
and if Buffalo decides one of those first 2 first-round picks to draft Lamar Jackson, it makes no sense to get Cousins. So you go after somebody like Alex Smith and bring him in, or a Sam Bradford, or Teddy Bridgewater if they're available. That way you can use them as that bridge quarterback while you get Lamar Jackson in, and you can address all the positions that you need addressing on that offense, because it's not so much the defense. But that offense they backed into the playoffs. You can't hide from it. They backed up. They fell back. Oh shit, we're in the playoffs. All right, that's cool. That offense had nothing to do with that. They got lucky.
All right, so we're gonna end it out. We all agree that the Buffalo Bills has a lot of work to do in the offseason, especially at quarterback if they move on from Tyrod Taylor. Fog Meg, I know this is gonna be your thunder right here, Fog. The Kansas City
here.
They lost 22-21 at home to the Tennessee Titans. Had a comfortable lead in the first half. I believe was it 23-3? I believe, could be wrong. Who do we blame for the loss? May I start out by saying, you know what, Fog? You can start this out. I know that this is your thunder real, Fog. Start it out.
Who do we blame? We blame the guy that's been a coach for 19 years. He's made the playoffs 13 of those 19 years, and he's 11-13. 11-13 in the playoffs, making one championship game and one Super Bowl. We blame him. Why? Because Andy Reid goes full retard once he gets into the playoffs. This guy wins. He's at a 600 percentage in winning. He's in the top 20 of regular season coaches in winning. And when he gets into the playoffs, he completely folds. He's like the bridge between the difference between someone who like a Mike Tomlin and a Chuck Knox or a Marty Schottenheimer. Guys that could win great in the regular season, but when they get into the playoffs, they completely collapse. And he continues to do this. You won football games this season by giving Kareem Hunt the damn ball. 25 or more touches in those games, you won 90% of those games. The games where you didn't give him that, guess what? You lost 100% of those games. So it's no surprise that Kareem Hunt touches the ball 14 times. 14 times, 11 rushes. The guy who was in the top 5 in rushing yards this season, and you gave him the ball 11 times and decided to throw more than you do. You wanted to run the ball on first downs in the second half. Yeah, your creativity sucks. Your play calling sucks. You do great with quarterbacks, and Andy Reid is a glorified quarterback coach because as a head coach in the playoffs, you cannot get it done. You choke, and you choke horribly. He wasn't calling a playbook in the second half. He was ordering food from Hooters.
That pretty much just steals all the thunder. I was pretty much – you actually stole my thunder for once, Fox, so I know how it feels. But you're damn right. No Kareem, say bye to your dream. 14 times, 11 carries. It's pathetic. And then you listen to Andy Reid's playoff success. 10 of those playoff wins came from 2000 to 2008. He's 1-6 in the past 8 years. Good job, Andy. Good job.
Let you want to go?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I know. Look, Fomeg, he's a Steeler. I mean, he's an Eagles fan. Josh is a Giants fan. Andy Reid gave the Giants fits a lot while he was in the NFC East, so I understand his anger. Fomeg is an Eagles fan. I'm actually a little disappointed in you, actually, because Andy Reid did so much for that franchise. And how long was he there? How long was it? What, 10, 11 years? A while, right? Andy Reid.
Nah, he was
14.
14 years?
Or 15 years, yeah.
Long time.
14, yep.
And I don't have numbers in front of me right now because I'm away from my computer, but you just the fact that you just laid out his resume, NFC title games, Super Bowl appearance. He has great regular season success. He is amazing with quarterbacks. What he did with Michael Vick, to me, was his greatest, in my opinion, his greatest quarterback, I guess, transformation. What he's done with Alex Smith to make him relevant in the National Football League. And I am the biggest Alex Smith detractor you'll ever meet. I don't believe in him. I never have. I could actually put some of the blame on him if I wanted to. Like the reason why they lost this game, because the ball was in his hands at the end of the game. He had a chance to win it. He had the ball in his hands. He could have drove down and complete some passes, which he didn't. Okay, but Andy Reid is to blame because he's had some time and clock management issues in the past. I get that, but for you to come out and say that he is just a horrible coach because of his playoff success, I get that. I don't get that. But
no, he's a horrible Brian. He's a horrible coach when it comes to the playoffs. This is what he does. For a guy who's been in the league 19 seasons, he has made the playoffs. He's in the top 10 in playoff makes, considering the amount of time he's been coaching. But then when you look at his failures in the playoffs, and you look at other coaches, guys like Belichick, Tom Landry, Joe Gibbs, Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Mike Holmgren, Tom Coughlin, Bill Cowher, Dan Reeves. He's actually succeeded better than them at getting to the playoffs for the amount of years that he's been coaching, and he has failed miserably when he gets to the playoffs. We're talking about a great coach that sucks when it comes to playoff time. It's the equivalent of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a phenomenal quarterback in the regular season, and then when he got into the playoffs, he became average to below average.
Like, and look, coming from a Steelers fan, I have no problem with coaching because I have guys like Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin.
I just mentioned two of the best coaches.
I can't say much about it, but if I'm a guy, if I'm a Browns fan or a Bills fan, or sorry, Tim, a Cowboys fan, I would be killing for Andy Reid. Are you kidding me? I would kill for Andy Reid.
Brian, again, that's situational. That's completely situational.
Yeah, they're bottom of the barrel. Who wouldn't want Andy Reid when you're the bottom of the
Yeah, but there are a lot of franchises right now in the playoffs who would kill for Andy Reid.
Hold on. Time out.
You don't think
Didn't mean
you don't think a team Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But I got first of all, here's the thing.
Another NFC East fan here. Andy Reid.
We was all having a lovely time, but you had to throw some punches there. Now, look, Andy, listen, I agree with Fognay, but I agree with Fognay at a point where he's coming out and say that Andy Reid is record, but horrible. We was all massaging Andy Reid's shoulder when he was with the Eagles. Oh, it's not his fault, X, Y, and Z. He went to the Chiefs, got some power. Now, what have we been seeing? I mean, he's letting go Macklin in the last minute before the season starts, who's a returner, being the #1 wide receiver. If Kelsey got hurt, what do you have? Nothing. Nothing. You're relying on the rookie running back in Hunt? Are we joking? Here's the thing. At all, because he's a quarterback, he only can work with what he got. And the one thing they don't have is another threat. Hold on, we have a special call. It's a Chiefs fan. Hey, Bobby Z.
Oh my God.
How you doing, brother? What's going on?
Save your coach, man. They're killing you.
All right, hey, Bobby. What happened with the Chiefs in the wild card game? What happened, in your words?
What happened was Kareem Hunt had 11 carries the whole entire game. Our defense did play well in the second half. They played great in the first half. They didn't play well in the second half. But I took it to when we had the ball. Why are you trying to choose block and run Kareem Hunt? NFL's leading rusher. Why you have him not in the carry and have Alex Smith throwing his little 3-yard passes?
Well, Bobby, let me ask you a question. Who do you blame for this loss?
Yeah, I still think that this coordinator thing, Matt Nagy, who now the head coach of the Bears, I feel like he's taking off Andy Reid, saying he called all the plays in the second half. There's other reports prior to that he only called the first 15 plays because he already had an interview set up with the Bears prior to, and Andy Reid wanted to give him time. So they only had 15 scripted plays prior to, and then the second half was all Andy Reid. Now I can't give you the definitive answer on that because who'll ever come out, who knows. But Andy Reid just pretty much got to do the job. Got him a head coach job, making millions of dollars a year. So who's to say?
All right. One last question, Bobby. Is there, as a Chiefs fan, is there anything that you want the Chiefs to do in the offseason to improve the team to get back into the playoffs?
I mean, overall, we have our team. Overall, solid team. Better on defense, and I'm glad they got Bob Sutton out. He's bringing a good, strong defensive coordinator to kind of. I think we should part ways with Tom Bahali. Another corner. Besides Peters, Peters might play off, might play only on the left-hand side, but interception since 2015, the next closest person to him in the league has 14. So yeah, he may play here or there, but overall he's an impact player on our team. But we need to get the left side corner picked up and get somebody else there better at play. I feel like the Rodriguez games when I played, where Mariota had a touchdown. He added the ball down when he caught the ball. So some sight, and also on the run that Derrick Henry had for that first down to go, he off on that play, he's going for the hit.
All right. Well, Bobby Z, we appreciate you calling in. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yes, sir.
Getting back to Mr. Brian here. Listen now, again, I'm not gonna blame anything on the Chiefs. We heard what Bobby Z was talking about, how some of the coaches. There's a lot of things happen during the game where they should improve. You can't put the finger at one person. I'm not gonna do that.
Of course not.
Andy Reid is the head coach. Is he a good coach? Yeah, he's a good coach, but
he's a great.
I mean, listen. Resume's back. If I'm the Chiefs right now, moving forward in the offseason, what I'm going to do is this. Josh's boy, Pat Mahomes, is ready. He went from the third stringer to the second string to the backup. He is the guy going forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call Mr. Dorsey. Ring Mr. Dorsey. Hey, how you doing? How's everything in Cleveland? Do you need Alex Smith? He's a free agent next year.
Oh, God.
I'm going to ask for a draft pick. Alex Smith to the Cleveland Browns. So that way the Browns got two first-round picks to concentrate on drafting the star players like Barkley, another picker with the 4th overall. You know why? You know why, Brian? I'm going to tell you why, Brian. Because, see, in the AFC North, the Steelers division rumbling. The minute the Browns get Alex Smith, if they get Alex Smith, with Josh Gordon, with Coleman, and that defense.
Will Josh Gordon be around?
Hey, listen. Hey, Brian, enjoy the playoffs, my brother, because we'll be back. They won't be the laughing stock no more.
Let me just Dude, let me say one thing before you go. Let me just say this real quick. The Chiefs, after everything Alex Smith has done for that organization, with the help of Andy Reid, they trade him to Cleveland. That would be one of the most disrespectful things you could do to Alex Smith ever. I'm telling you right now, because he's not washed. He can still play this game. I don't even like Alex Smith. He does not deserve to go to NFL putrid like the Cleveland Browns. Are you kidding me? You're gonna send Alex Smith there, and you know what, Cleveland? Hey, Chiefs fans, Patrick Mahomes is probably ready. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes is ready now because Andy Reid, this is his guy. He likes the gunslingers. Brett Favre, he likes those guys. So Brett Favre and who else? Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb. Those guys are gunslingers, so he likes those guys. So Patrick Mahomes is probably ready, but I'll tell you right now, yeah, if you thought Kareem Hunt didn't get the ball enough then, good luck with Kareem Hunt getting the ball when Patrick Mahomes is in there, because they're going to be throwing the ball all over the park.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute, everyone. I'm surprised at all of you. You're dumping on Andy Reid for good reason, right? Although it's funny, Tim, earlier you said John Gruden is like the 3rd best coach in the NFL. He's not better than Andy Reid. Let's get that clear right now.
Not at all. Andy Reid.
He's not better than Mike McCarthy. Let's get that clear right now.
Well, hold up.
John Gruden might be in the top 10.
Devil's advocate with that, Duel, if you want to, because I have it right here. little Mr. Andy Reid's beautiful PFR stats. Oh, 13 years of making it into the playoffs. What do you think? How has he done? He's won one NFC championship, and then he lost when he made it to the big game. 13 years. You would think he would have more, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
You would think. You would think, but
yeah. So let's glorify Andy Reid because of his regular season, just because he's the Matt Ryan of NFL head coaches. Beautiful regular season, but playoffs.
Josh, I hear you. Point is that if we're talking regular season wins, Andy Reid shits on John Gruden, but that's not. It's neither here nor there.
John Gruden is this? 2 bowls though.
Say what?
Reid?
John Gruden made it to the Super Bowl on the back of another man's team. All right, we're not talking about that though. Look, we're
what makes
why is no one blaming the current head coach of the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy? Wasn't he the offensive coordinator? Who's calling the plays? Blame him. Come on. There's plenty of blame to go around. Yes, Andy Reid blew it again. We know this. This is expected. But come on. There's more blame to pass around in Kansas City. And like you said, this is Patrick Mahomes' team going forward, right? By the way, Tim, I'll entertain you for a second. If Alex Smith went to the Cleveland Browns, they'll win at best 3 games. That team is bad. I don't care how many first rounders they have. They suck.
I mean, it's a start. It's a start.
What's a start? Alex Smith is a start since when?
No. See. Again, all I'm saying is this.
Which, by the way, 3 wins for them is actually good. 3 wins for them will be good.
Alex Smith is an above-average game manager.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, we got to stay on the team.
Would get them between 3 and 5 wins, which would be great for them.
If it wasn't for Andy, if it wasn't for Andy Reid, there would be no Alex Smith. What are we talking about right now? Because he wouldn't be in the league.
What do you mean? Alex Smith was having a fantastic year with San Fran.
1 year. With who?
When Jim Harbaugh was coach, when he had a coach.
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. And then Harbaugh leaves. It's coincidental that Alex Smith starts to kind of. Any team that has a good coach. Come on.
Yeah, thank you.
Andy Reid made Kansas City relevant again. He made the Steven. Hey, Bomac, tell me this. Did he make the Eagles relevant when he came in 2000?
Listen, this argument went completely left field. I've got a beef with Andy Reid and the way he play calls and the way he does things in the playoffs. I don't have a problem with Andy Reid, the regular season head coach. His statistics and his record shows the fact that this guy has made the playoffs 13 out of 19 seasons lets you know how good of a coach he is. But he chokes. He's Norv Turner. He's Chuck Knox in the playoffs. He completely fails. I can't understand why he deviates from the script the way he does with his play calling, especially in the playoffs. Alex Smith is a very good quarterback. Listen,
really?
The guy was a top 5 quarterback.
I'll give him that.
He did an extremely good job. It would be disrespectful if they traded him to Cleveland, but at the same time, we're talking about a guy who's going into his 13th year. How much more does he actually have left? But at the end of the day, Reid is a very good coach, borderline great coach. But his failures in the playoffs, like I said, when I was pointing out some of the other coaches there that I was naming, you can't overlook it. You can't overlook it.
Argue his playoff statistics. I can't argue his playoff blunders. But I'll tell you right now, I'm taking Andy Reid over 95% of the coaches in the NFL today.
And I'm comfortable with that, especially if I'm a shitty team. Getting to the playoffs is a win.
Or I'm a team that is on the cusp of making the playoffs, like Buffalo. A team like that, I mean, they backed in, but I'm taking Andy Reid over Sean McDermott. Is what I'm saying. Okay, that's just what I'm saying. I'm taking Andy Reid over Doug Marrone. Okay, let's be real.
I would. Andy Reid's a top 5 coach in the league right now. I would put Andy Reid over John Gruden, like Dola said. There's no
question about it.
All right. We all said our piece on the Chiefs and the Browns going forward. All right. Josh, you there, Josh? This is going to be a little touchy subject. We're going to talk about Eli Apple. Lately, he's been on a Twitter rant with a lot of Giant fans saying a lot of negative things. There's a lot of things been happening in the offseason where, sorry, not offseason, during the season where there's talks that during the film room, he's walking out, take criticism from the coach. Basically, he's not himself. I will say this in doing my research. To be disrespectful or talk about his family issues or anything like that, I just believe that from what we've seen when he got drafted, his mother, who's a lovely lady, been in the media a lot. Seen a whole lot of different things. There was even a comment where she says that I believe Eli and Peyton Manning's mom's uterus should be in the Hall of Fame. It was a joke. There was saying that she criticized Mara for the way he handled Brown domestic violence issues. It was a lot of things where she was in the way, and a lot of people were saying that's probably the big reason why he's acting the way he is. And I believe it's I believe that's true. I think she needed to step to the side, step off backward, let her son do the work. This is his job. This is a job that a lot of kids are not fortunate to get. But hopefully, he's a very talented kid. Hopefully, he overcomes these issues and he needs to be.
It's a very, very weird subject and topic, especially around the time that, LeVar's doing what he's doing in the basketball community with his kids. You kind of reflect on the NFL side, and there's not a lot of moms that are really proactive in the NFL or get a lot of airtime. But here comes Eli Apple out of left field right when her son's drafted. Her journalism degree, that's awesome. She's a very educated woman, very, very eye-appealing. But I think Tim, you and I talked about this in the Fury group a few days ago. I think there is a slight responsibility on her behalf of how she kind of portrays herself to Twitter and the media, and knowing damn well her son's on the same exact application. It's just a very thin line. Even when you're watching what you say and you're not responding to trolls, you're still just a direct target no matter what, just because it's available. It's available to people, and it's available for them to just shit on you and talk about you 24/7 no matter what you do. And then you have Eli a few days ago coming out on Twitter. He's just sitting there berating, blasting people. Oh, that's cool, dog. You got the same Snapchat filter as your sister. And he's blazing high school cornerbacks. And, oh, yeah, your tape looks, that looks trash, dog. Yeah, I hope you make it. I really do. But, I mean, head case issues. Like, why are you responding to normal people that are probably never going to be on your level for the most part? It's I can't wrap my head around it, and there has to be something going on, Tim. Like you said, with the mom, with the background of the family, there has to be something going on. And is it a millennial issue? I don't know either, because I'm sure everyone on this panel knows some guy or some girl that's just like either so spoiled or just doesn't know how to do anything for themselves, but they think the world revolves around them. And that's what makes me think. Back then, when that scout came out and said, Eli Apple scares me off the field to death. He's a kid that, can't cook, kind of, relies. I mean, it seems funny as hell. Like, who cares if he can't cook? He's going to have thousands of dollars. But it makes you think more now with these issues coming out. Like, damn, maybe there was really more of a poignant stance to that statement.
There is a deep dive psychoanalysis that these guys go through on all these players. I mean, they get into their childhood history. I mean, the stuff that we do, that we research, is damn near just scratching the surface of what these scouts have to do with their job. And when you see things like that, you say, what the fuck does that have to do with football? Well, let me explain something to you. I'm in retail management, and when I interview somebody and I speak to them, I don't want to know what their prior experiences are. I want to know their personal experiences. how they react in personal situations. Why? Because that's going to display the character that you have. And is that character conducive to what I'm going to bring onto my team? And that's key. So we, like Josh said, you're laughing, he can't cook. You know, how many people, well, not for nothing. If you can't even boil water properly, that says a lot in regards to an entitlement aspect and an expectation aspect as far as, oh, well, everything's been given to me. And if you're someone who's had everything given to them, then you're going to have a bit of a spoiled and prima donna attitude towards things. And that's what this kid is actually displaying. He's displaying this attitude of entitlement. And like Josh said, he's going back and forth on Twitter with a kid from high school about, oh, I can't wait to get to the pros to dust you. And you're a professional athlete. This kid is in high school. And you're arguing with him saying, oh, I can't wait till you make it to the pros so I could play. Really? That's the level of maturity and sensibility that you have? This kid's got some serious issues, and it has nothing to do with his athleticism or his skill set. This kid is mentally out there. He's 2 beers short of a 6-pack.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'll say this very short. I'm not as in touch with the situation as you guys are, especially Josh, who's a big Giants fan. I'll say this: there does seem to be a lot of maturity issues there. There were some maturity issues at Ohio State. He has some run-ins at Ohio State that were very, very immature. They picked that up at the draft. Like the scout said, I'm scared as hell to pick Eli Apple because he can barely cook, and I think there does say something to that. But my main thing is that Eli Apple is a product of today's society. I mean, he is 22 years old. He's barely young. I didn't realize he was that young. He's 22. Came into this league when he was 20. I wouldn't be surprised if he still had friends in high school anyway. It wouldn't shock me if he still talked to people in high school who he grew up with in his neighborhood or whatever. So it wouldn't shock me if he still acts like a high schooler or has the mentality of a high schooler. I mean, they say your brain's not particularly, or your brain when you make decisions isn't fully developed until you're 21 years old. So it makes sense that he's kind of acting in this kind of strange, immature way. I think that hopefully as time goes on, I know that he has some dad issues. Some of his stepfather, I think he stopped talking to his stepfather, I believe, 5 years ago of some sort. That may have played a part in how he's acting. I do understand that has a big part in a young man's life, and you don't have that kind of father figure in your life to help you kind of lead the way, to have that male figure. That's huge. I mean, I work in the school system, so I understand how huge a male father figure could be in a young man's life. And look, Eli Apple is still a 22-year-old boy. Yeah, he's a boy. I mean, he's a man by age, but he's still a boy. So, I honestly, it is very touchy. With his mom, it does kind of go hand in hand with the LeVar Ball situation. But even though I think she handles it with a little more class than LeVar, obviously. But she's not making it any better. She's not doing anything. She's not making it any better. She's always in the news for all the wrong reasons. But I think this is a kid that needs some maturity. I think this is where somebody like Landon Collins or somebody in the locker room needs to take their arm around this kid and take him under the wing. And I think that's one of the things that the Giants did lack this year was some veteran leadership, and I think they kind of need that right now with Eli Apple. He's a great talent. His skill set is great. He had a great rookie season. So I think that he's somebody that needs to mature. He needs a guiding wing.
I want to add this last point.
Well, I didn't go yet.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Del. I'm sorry. I was in the shadow, brother. Go ahead.
Nah, take a different approach from this, and I'm glad you, Rob, was going to bring that point in there too. First of all, I don't think Andy Apple is nearly as inflammatory as LeVar Ball. I think LeVar Ball is Nico Grimes, honestly. I think he's on that level of inflammatory and just kind of a danger to us kids. This way, everyone. You went to Ohio State, right? he was on that team that's with. And look at the guys who came in the draft. Joey Bosa. Star. Pretty.
You're breaking up. Dolly, breaking up.
Yeah. Breaking up. First, you got all case, right? I think also, I think it's that. I don't think he's used to bad season for the Giants. I don't think he's used to losing. I don't think he can handle that. That's the part of being a pro. You have to understand that everything doesn't go your way. You know, there's things you could do better. I think he's still playing this whole it's everyone else's fault but mine. And they went 3-13. He had a part in that too. He was a 10th overall pick. I'm picking you at 10. I'm expecting you to be an impact player right now. Right? Right now. You're in your second year. I'm expecting you to be a shutdown corner. Jalen Ramsey did it. They came in the same year. Right? So I think some of that's getting to him. And I'm glad you brought up Landon Collins because let's backtrack a little bit about, Landon Collins. Anyone remember what happened when Landon Collins declared that he was going to Alabama? Anyone remember what happened with that?
No.
On national TV, he announced this at like the All-American game. Landon Collins shot out Alabama and said he should have went to LSU. Now when he was an 18-year-old kid, he wanted to go to Alabama. This is supposed to be his moment. Meanwhile, his mom is shitting on his, LSU. I mean, Landon Collins is a national title, to say for that. But point is, I think Landon Collins, someone like that, someone who has a mother or parental figure, and it's not the only one on that team, an opinionated person in their life, say, hey, this is how you can deal with this. It's going to be all right. It's only your it's only your second year. Stop whatever you're doing now because you're going to head case yourself out of the league. We've seen it happen with plenty of guys.
All right, I'm gonna end it off by just saying one thing. We go to the picks. This is my opinion. Need to step out the spotlight of their kids once they make it to the pros. This is their time. It's not for you to be in the media, being the celebrity, being the star. This is where you prepare your kids to be where they're at. I want to play this real quick thing. I don't know if you're familiar with this. I'll always love my mama. I hope Eli Apple grows up, become the player that he needs to be, and make it fall into the pros. All right, fellas, we going to the pick'ems. Wildcard weekend pick'ems. We're going with the first game. The Eagles hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, I know you there with the suit on, the nice tie, you dressed up for the occasion. But I'm going to start out by saying the Eagles win this game. Nah, I'm only playing. You kidding me? Atlanta Falcons are going to go in up in there and beat the daylights out the Philadelphia Eagles. Bam! I said it. Hit me up.
It's kind of, Tim, it's kind of hard to disagree. Philly is home, but shoo, that big factor. No more Carson Wentz. And you got Atlanta. What's Philly going to do? They're going to run most of the game. Atlanta's got a pretty good run defense. Good man coverage. Foles is not built to make those type of one-on-one throws. He's just going to lob it up most of the time if he does go downfield. So, yeah, I got Atlanta in this one. I'm sorry, Fox. It was a good one, bro. It was a good season.
I don't know what they're sorry about. The spread in this game is 3. Atlanta's favored by 3. And I'm taking Atlanta. Because while I enjoy Eagle Green, I love Money Green more. So, listen, the Eagles had a good run, but cement foot Foles is not going to do anything from an athletic standpoint to get away from the speed of this defense. I don't give a damn that it's in Philadelphia and how cold it's going to be. Defense travels. And you've got a quarterback that can't make the throws needed to win the game. You have receivers who have been up and down all season between Jeffrey and Aguilar. So while the Eagles' defense has been outstanding and solid this season, you're going to fold. They're going to fold at the end of it, or they're going to fold at the end of the day because of their offense and the ineptitude of their offense under Nick Foles, and because the defense is just going to be left out to dry there. They're going to be left on the field. I guarantee you by the end of this game, Minnesota, a team that plays fast, and I think there's the speed of that team and that offense from a timing standpoint. They're always on the field. Their offense is always on the field less than any other team. This weekend, they're going to control time of possession because that's how bad Philadelphia's offense is going to be.
As everyone's on Atlanta so far, I'm gonna go with the story. I'm gonna go with Nick Foles and the Eagles going this game, and here's why. I don't think there's that much of a drop off between Nick Foles and Carson Wentz in terms of the stats. And Fogg, I know you love the stats. Nick Foles actually has some better stats through 24 games than Carson Wentz. Let's just be real, okay? Hey, look. Nick Foles was 27 for 2. At one point of his career, 27 touchdowns.
It's the anomaly season.
Hold on, wait. 27 for 2. I don't think Nick Foles is that bad of a quarterback. I'm not going to sit here. And look, Atlanta on the road, Matt Ryan, do I trust him on the road? Not so sure. In the cold, I'm not really sure. He doesn't really show up that well in cold weather, even though he's from the BC area. He doesn't really play that well outside anymore.
It's going to be 40 degrees out.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be cold. It's going to be pretty cold out. Do I trust Atlanta? If this game was in Atlanta, I'll take Atlanta, no doubt. But in Philadelphia with those rabid fans who are ready to go behind that great defense, which I believe is really the reason why the Eagles are where they are today. I think Nick Foles can I think he can pull this off. I think he's a good enough quarterback to at least make it to the next round. I'm not crazy enough to go to the Super Bowl, but I think Nick Foles and the Eagles can pull this off. I'm going to pick Nick Foles and the Eagles to win this game. I don't personally trust Matt Ryan outside on the road. I just
all right. Kyle, you go. Brian got the Eagles. Kyle.
Bang, bang, Eagle gang. I think Philadelphia wins this. It won't be easy. Here's my hesitation with Atlanta. I think both teams have pretty good defenses. I think Jim Schwartz is going to blitz the hell out of Matt Ryan. He's going to fluster him, and go back to that Super Bowl. I just don't.
Right,
After that Super Bowl, I don't trust Atlanta in big moments. This is a big moment for them. I think they fold.
All right, so everybody, now we got 3 going with Atlanta. We got 2 going with Philadelphia. Let's all dedicate this to Fogman. Eagles fly on the road to victory. Fight. Fly. Come on, Fogman.
What kind of fan are you, really? Like, seriously?
While Tim is singing this awful song, I do want to add one more thing for the Falcons. It's supposed to be rainy, but in this exact weather, mid-40s and rainy, the Falcons actually put up their highest point total of the year in a 34-31 victory in Seattle. Never know. Tim, what's the next game?
You're on Fox.
Next game. Oh boy. Next game, we are going with the New Orleans Saints visiting the Minnesota Vikings. I'm gonna listen. The Saints had a nice game. You know what? Vikings do have the #1 defense, and excuse me, #2 defense. Excuse me. I'm gonna take the New Orleans Saints on the road only because I'm going with the experience of Drew Brees versus Case Keenum. I think he's his first playoff game. He's a free agent. Listen, I think New Orleans team's got enough on defense to rattle Case Keenum.
Yo, the New Orleans Saints, that backfield, sexy. But Minnesota, they will know how to shut down those 2 running backs, and they're going to make Drew Brees work. This is going to be a really interesting game, but with the Vikings at home and the way Case Keenum has been playing with the utmost confidence, Stephon Diggs is balling, Thielen is balling, even Kyle Rudolph is finally coming into the tight end that we want to see him become. Man, it's hard not to see the Vikes take this one, man, especially with a week off, fully rested.
I'll go next. I think I'm gonna go with Timothy here. I'm gonna go with the experience. I think this is the best team Drew Brees has been around. Even better than his 2009 Super Bowl team. This is the best and most balanced football team he's been on, and I think he really appreciates that now. I think the fact that the game is going to be played indoors, where Drew Brees loves to play, I think that kind of adds. I think it kind of neutralizes things for them because they're playing indoors and obviously playing a dome in New Orleans. And look, that backfield, like Josh said, is very sexy. And remember, like week 1 when these guys played opener on Thursday, they didn't know who Alvin Kamara was. They were trying to stop Adrian Peterson. Now they have Alvin Kamara, who is playing with a lot of confidence. Mark Ingram, who's playing like he's the Heisman. He's finally arrived, in my opinion. This is the best team Drew Brees has played on, in my opinion. I think the Saints take this. I really do. I have the Saints winning this game.
All right, Kyle.
This is probably the toughest matchup to pick. Look, I hate the Minnesota Vikings. Let's just be honest. And honestly, I call their stadium Ford Field North because we're 2-0 against them there. We own them. So New Orleans gets to play in our stadium. Wonderful. I've gone back and forth about this. This is a game where Case Keenum could make himself a lot of money or lose a lot of money. Oh, this hurts. I'm going Minnesota. I think their defense at the end of the day gets the job done.
All right, Fog, got the last one.
Listen, defense wins ball games. It absolutely does. New Orleans defense has been the best it's been in I don't know when. Even that Super Bowl run, the only thing they were good at was turnover differential. So you have the offense to score. And I think the key is going to be the backfield, Ingram and Kamara. And when I look at that and I look at McKinnon and I go, Minnesota hasn't been here, experience factor, New Orleans has. I felt this was the worst matchup for Minnesota to get, and they got it. And I think New Orleans is going to win this game.
All right.
Interesting.
Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans, Patriots.
Can we just all?
Are we really going to? Are we going to do a deep dive? Are we going to do a deep dive analysis?
All right. How about this? All right.
All right, yo, Tim. This is the better question for the weekend. Over under Mariota reception touchdowns.
All right. Okay, so raise your hand. Except for Duncan, he's driving. Raise your hand. You got the Patriots. Raise your hands.
Dude, we're still gonna put up both hands.
You can't see me, but I got. You can't.
Clap your hands, Brian. Clap your hands. There you go. Damn, he clapped his hand.
I got 3.
All right.
Wendy, if Wendy's watching, Wendy, this is a gift.
Love you, Wendy.
I'm
Dula, hock your horn if you want the Patriots.
Listen, I'm going. Oh man, I'm gonna hate myself for this tomorrow. I think the Titans win it. I think the Titans win.
Della?
Why?
Wait.
Logical explanation.
Stop. Hold on. Della, you haven't been drinking, right? Because you're driving.
No,
right
not at all.
That's very dangerous.
No, I can't. That's very dangerous, yeah.
All right. Della got the Titans.
Can I just get one explanation really quick from you?
Thank you. One logical explanation of why.
I'm giving Tennessee the benefit of the doubt that their offense comes together. I think if their offense comes together, I think New England has a hard time stopping it. I really do. I'm not high on New England on the defensive side of the ball. Matt Patricia is about to get a head coaching job in Detroit potentially. Please don't. But I'm not sold on him.
I'll say that.
I'm not sold on him on defense.
I'll say this.
And I'm hedging my bets on their running game right now. That is a big bet.
The Titans have no chance.
But I think they can get it done.
No chance winning this game. But I'll say this. I'll say that Bill Belichick does not like playing scrambling quarterbacks, and that's the only thing I give the Tennessee Titans, that if Marcus Mariota can make enough plays with his legs, he can keep them in the game within double digits. Within double digits.
He's done it all year.
So, that's pretty much it. But there's I can't even think of it. I was trying, but no, I can't do it.
Let's look at it this way. The Titans took down a team that beat the hell out of the Patriots.
Nah, nice try.
Listen, I actually agree with Dola. I like what Dola said. The problem is the consistency or the inconsistency that is played with all season long. Confidence in selecting them. You can't take away the fact that they helped themselves. They did beat the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs didn't just beat themselves. Tennessee played that second half. New England. I don't give a fuck.
All right.
No. Tennessee won the game. They didn't back into a win. They beat the Chiefs. They took the game from them. I think they do it again this week.
I'll give you that, Dula. Yeah, they did. They did beat the Chiefs. Second half, they did.
Yeah.
But
because Andy Reid was looking at a menu and not the playbook.
They have zero answer for Gronkowski. No answer for Gronkowski.
All right, I'll say this last thing. If Della is correct, this will be one of the biggest news coming out in all of sports. But the things will come out between Bill Belichick, Kraft, and Brady separating. This will be used if the Titans do win. Last game. This is for you, Brian. Brian, because you are a guest, I'm going to let you be the first one before we all. All right, Brian? We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mind you, before Brian answered his pick, in the first meeting, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Jacksonville 30-9 with Big Ben throwing 5 interceptions. Brian, please lead off. Who do you want this game?
I had a dime for every time I heard that. I can quit my job tomorrow. That stupid Week 5 game, which we weren't even the same football team. And the fact that we evolved from that, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, look, and the fact that people are making a lot out of the Jacksonville Jaguars for beating the Buffalo Bills. Oh, great. Yeah, the Bills didn't score on you. Oh, my God. Tyrod Taylor didn't score a touchdown. Wow. Yeah, crown the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the new 2000 Ravens. Blake Bortles is like the new Michael Vick out there rushing for more, having more rushing yards. You know what? We're going to win the game. We're not only going to win the game. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a score. We're going to win the game. I said 28-14 on the page, but I'm going to switch it up just because of how much ammo and how much ammo the media is trying to, how much build up the media is trying to give the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to win this game. I'm going to say 35-14. I'm going to add another touchdown to my score because the Jacksonville Jaguars are not coming back up to Pittsburgh. They're not coming in our house to Heinz Field at night and doing what they did in Week 5. There's just no way. We're a better football team across the board. I know we lost Ryan Shazier. I hope he gets healthy. That's the only spot I believe. And look, Leonard did rough us up. He did. However, at that point, I mean, the game was kind of out of hand. A lot of that we had a lot of our second string in there, and it was garbage time. Okay, so
okay.
Leonard, but give me a break with this nonsense. We're gonna win.
Okay, so Brian, through all that, you have the Steelers winning this game, correct?
Easily.
Okay, easily.
Yes.
Brian, let me tell you something about Jaguars coming in at night, brother. Jaguars have pristine night vision, all right? They will dice you up just on sight. They will just pounce. Do you not remember the 21-point blemishing that the Jaguars just clawed you with? But after a week off, yeah, you're right. The Steelers at home, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to take this game. Sorry, Jags. Blake Bortles, I'm sorry. Blake Bortles, first round pick. This guy is a freaking Tyrod Taylor, if I've ever seen one. That's all he is.
That's being very generous, actually.
Worse than Tyrod.
He's a Tyrod Taylor with a slower release time. Sorry about that, Tyrod. I actually disrespected T-Mobile there.
Let me revisit my previous pick. See, I picked Tennessee because I think there's one thing they can do that they could be very good at to beat the Patriots. That's running the ball. If they can get the running game going, they could potentially beat the Patriots. I'm thinking about this. There's absolutely nothing Jacksonville does that's gonna overwhelm Pittsburgh. I don't think Big Ben's gonna throw 5 picks again. I think Jacksonville's defense will be good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think Pittsburgh wins, but I'm just looking at it, and I don't know what Jacksonville does so great that come playoff time, Big Ben has been there how many times? And this team's been there how many times? I don't see it. I don't see it. Great run, Jacksonville. Saxonville. I hope you're back next year. I hope you get a quarterback that you want to, hedge your bets around. This ain't your time. Pittsburgh.
Fogman, you there? All right. Well,
yes,
I'll go and play the Fogman.
I'm here. And Jacksonville's not winning in Pittsburgh. It's just that. As much as I want to troll Brian right now and tell Brian, yes, there's a reason why they're a 7-point underdog. And yes, they have a good defense, but their offense doesn't put points on the board. No, I should say they don't put points on board against good teams. So
they didn't put points on the board against Buffalo. They're not a good team.
Hey.
They're middle of the road.
Hey, you know what, Fox? You have to troll responsibly.
Hold on. Fogman, so who you got? You got the Steelers?
Yeah, the Steelers are going to dust them.
All right, I'm gonna close it out.
Here we go.
Brian, I'm not trying to troll, Brian. I'm gonna be real. No,
he's lying, Brian. He's lying. He's lying completely.
You think Alex Smith is going to bring the Browns back to prominence?
Hold on.
Ooh.
Hey, Betty, can you put Dino? That's my Jaguar. Can you put Dino away?
Yeah, put that.
I mean, Brian, listen. I'm being real, Brian. I had the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this game. Listen, I'm feeling what I'm going off of what Della is saying about the Titans being the Patriots. Blood coming to the playoff. The new generation coming into the playoffs. Again, Big Ben is not the same. Defense. This Jacksonville Jaguars team reminds me of the 2000 Baltimore Ravens.
You kidding?
When Trent Dilfer was doing the same thing that Blake Bortles is doing. A drastic mistake? No, he did not. He did anything he could have did because the defense did what they had to do to win the game. And this is a top defense that's been scoring points up and down this year. You talk about putting points. They put up 30 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking about Antonio Brown. During that game, Antonio Brown had 19 targets. He hasn't played in the past 4 weeks, he's a human being. He's a 30-year-old human being. We don't know how healthy he's gonna be. Juju's a rookie. Martavis Bryant, hey, he might try to earn his contract on a new team. You know what, Brian? Another thing, Le'Veon Bell, he's only played one good game in the playoffs. After that, we've seen the history. No disrespect. I'm going with the defense. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Pittsburgh, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in a close game. With that being said, Josh, would you mind letting us off?
Leading us off.
Cause I know Brian right now is trying to say something.
Send us off. Just send us off. That's it. After this, just send us off.
I thought I meant lead off. I was like, what? We got another topic? What? Are you springing something up on me? Oh man. Send off. I can do. I'm wonderful at send off. We out. No, I'm just kidding, folks. I thank you so much. Yo, everybody, on the wall, you guys are the real MVP. Everyone that's been talking on the freaking YouTube wall all night. Mike Mill, Wendy, Ronaldo, Trisha, Fitty J, anybody that I might have missed, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to the wall commenters in 2 Minute Warning Sports 360. And thank you to our
Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Wendy. You know, she an Alabama fan and a Patriots fan.
Yo, Wendy and Sharon, there's a lady MVP's a football fury right now, man. We got to have a power rankings. We're going to come out with a power rankings of viewers because the ladies are killing it right now. Wendy and Sharon, those two ladies are just killing the males. It doesn't even matter how many males there are right now.
Shout out to Sharon, too. Both of them. I like both of them for different reasons, but I like both of them. Shout out to both of them.
Yo, again, thank you for tuning in. Yo, taking the time out of your busy work week. We always appreciate it. Thank you. And we will be back next Tuesday night. Signing out.
Hey, but don't forget, no doubt.
No doubt.